Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Good morning, good evening, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. It's day 5. It's guerrilla cricket. Sorry, I missed the last line of my intro. It's been 5 days, and it's not the earliest of early mornings. Actually, it's not been so bad. But last night I didn't really go to bed early, and hadn't much sleep. But I'm not expecting day 5 to go too far with a bit of luck. Well, if you're English, a bit of luck. I suppose if you're Pakistani, you want it to last all day, and that would in itself be an absolute feat, which I guess this game could deserve in a strange kind of way. It's been a mad 5 days of cricket. We've had, how many runs have we had? About 14, 15, 1600 runs we've had for the loss of, well, until Pakistan we'd had, came in for their second innings, we'd had, 820 plays 550, what's that? Nearly 1400 runs for the loss of 17 wickets.
Yes, that's right.
Which is what, about 80, 70 a wicket or something stupid like that. I mean, it's been the flattest of flats pitches in Multan, and I still think it's a pretty fat pitch, and I'll still maintain that I don't think it's a very good test match pitch, but I think we're going to get a result, and that's mainly due to England's brilliance yesterday. The pitch has slowed slightly better bits of wear, especially with a new ball.
The cracks are looking a bit bigger today too.
I mean, there was a little bit of misbehaviour last night with the new ball, but as soon as the new ball came on, it looked easy again. Fortunately, England have got 6 wickets by that point, And we could have had 7. Shoaib Bashir dropping, pretty much a sitted out in the deep. And that was off Aga Salman as well, which would have been a handy one to get. We are down to the tail and all-rounders. We currently got Aga Salman and Amir Jamal at the crease. They've put on a stand of about 80, which is pretty good going. But they will have to come out and be fresh this morning. We're not sure if Abrar's back from his hospital trip for fever. But England just need the 4 wickets, possibly 3 to win the game. I'm joined this morning by Messi. Because Fourthie, I'm suspecting maybe stuck on a sofa with his missus watching Scandi Noir. I'm forgotten he's on Guerrilla Cricket. First thing.
Cricket Info says Abrar is not expected to be involved today, so it's effectively 7 wickets down.
Yeah, 3 wickets required. And this could all be over in half an hour. Get a wicket in the first couple of overs. Strange things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. The first session's 2.5 hours, and I'd be amazed if it's not wrapped up in that.
Exactly that. Yeah, it's 2.5 hours. It's Friday prayers, obviously in Pakistan. So we have one of I do seem to remember this happened when we were there before. It brings back vague memories of that being the case. But yeah, so Friday prayers means that it's a strange day. There's an hour for lunch and a 2.5 hour morning session. We don't make up the extra 20 minutes as far as I can figure out. You certainly can't make them up at the end of the day because it gets dark too early. Yeah. They're lucky to stay on the field.
I don't know if your feed is on delay or something, but I've got the batsman actually at the wicket now, which is weird.
There may be, because we're just doing a little chat that's pre-recorded. Right. Yeah, here we go. I've got Atkinson and Wokes practicing bowling now.
Right.
I think that was just the, pre-recorded little bit of chat, or it might have been a last-minute little bit of chat before they go out to the room. You never know. Sky have got their own team out there. They've got their own guys out there. You've probably got the feed from the ground.
Yeah, the international feed. Yeah.
There is no GPL today, I should say. £49.
Oh, in that case, I should take that off. I didn't even think about that.
We're 7 wickets down. I'm not going to like the GPL.
No, of course not.
That's giving it away. Atkinson is in first ball, and it's clipped nicely up to mid-on. There's no run. Let's give you some jingles. We got Aga Salman at the crease.
Wouldn't it be nice if Aga Salman could be given just a game or 2, and after having spent the match together, felt at home with the whole national crew? Oh, wouldn't it be nice?
Wouldn't it be nice? The bowler is whose second ball is just defended into the offside by Aga Salman, who is on 41, and there is no run.
Like Jafra, breaking down after every game.
And the other batsman is
I'm a coming for you. I'm a coming for you, Jamal.
and Randy Caddick, the man from that looks like Gary, but it's not. There's a man with a big beard. He looks quite large. That one is clipped. We got a funky field. We got 2 short mid wickets, but that's into the pads, and Salman just clips it around the corner, and there's no run. Not a lot happening with the ball in this first over. It all looks a bit warm-uppy for Atkinson. Not surprising. It's been a long 5 days. Well, I suppose he had his feet up for a good 2 of them.
Well, we have a super chat already. How about that?
That's genius. Thank you very much.
The power of suggestion. I typed in super chatters, and Muttley immediately came back with £2. Says, okay then.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mutts.
Thank you very much. As we all know, this game could be over reasonably early. Here is Atkinson. That one nipped back a little bit, possibly off a crack. It's well outside the off stump now, and it's well defended by Jamal out to the offside. There is no run. Interesting if he goes with Wokes first up, or whether he just goes straight to cast, blasting it with the old ball. I imagine he'll go Wokes first.
You'd think so, especially after the way it opened yesterday.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was the most I think we've really seen the ball move the entire test when England came out second up yesterday. There was a bit of later on. There was a bit of reverse swing as well, but it only lasted for about 2 or 3 overs. Oh, that's into the pads. Oh, and I don't think it was fully controlled by Jamal. Managed to jab his bat on it. I think it ballooned just past Cass, who's the second of the short mid wickets, a little slightly squarer one. I don't think it was close enough to maybe grab it. Oh, well, it's popped. He's just popped that up, and it dropped short and wide of him. But that's what this pitch might do. The old one might just pop.
Yeah.
And you've got to imagine that England are going to get 3 chances in the next 2.5. Well, actually, maybe not. This wicket has been a bit bad, but I think the old one is stopping now, and the old one is keeping low. I mean, it's still not a great deal. That's a decent ball. Seems to nip back a little bit. A good pace, that one as well. That was the last ball of the over. Finally got there. Atkinson 2 for 30. Pakistan trail by 113. It's 154 for 6. Jamal.
So we don't have all the normal early starters today, but Yogesh Punia says good morning. Jonathan Shawland says good evening. That's the difference between
the world of guerrilla cricket.
Yes, because Jonathan Shawland's in New Zealand at the moment, I think. Dara Azizi, recently promoted from sheriff to homicide detective, says hi all. That's about it on there. And we've got nothing on YouTube, on Twitter or Bluetooth as yet.
Bluetooth, I love the way you call Blue Sky Bluetooth.
Blue Sky, yeah. Oh well. Yeah, it's early.
Well, at the other end, we have...
He's on Instagram, and he's a Twitter fan. On the Ashes tour, not Ben Stokes, but he'll have to do.
He is going to open at the other end. He's going to bowl at Jamal. And I didn't get round to reading what the Pakistani press thought of this game. I keep meaning to investigate. I'm sure Dawn does an English version. Hopefully it's not all generic and I have an opinion piece, but because I always love reading the Australian press when the Ashes are being played.
Yes.
It was quite good fun when we battered them in 2015. Wokes in, that's onto the pads. A bit of a gimme first ball. Probably get 4 runs, won't he? No, he won't. There's Jack Leach is out in the deep, and they'll get back for 2 though. Score moves on to 156. They trail by Nelson. I think that's. Even if they manage to get a 100-run lead, I think it would take them only till tea.
I think that's right.
Which again is, that'd be 200 runs from here. It'd be a bit of a grind, but it's probably possible. Aga Salman did get a ton in the first innings, and Jamal's highest test score is 82. That's defended. There's an on Hayden and an off Hayden. It's defended to the off Hayden. No run.
Yeah, I texted Forthy. I haven't heard back from him, so I'm not sure where he is. Maybe he's asleep.
Well, he's up for the ball by ball next.
Hopefully he wakes up in time.
Well, indeed. If not, I can carry on. Jason's supposed to join us, but we know he's not always out of bed either. That's defended. It could be me and you for an hour.
We can do it. Well, we've done it before.
Well, we have. Defended up to off Hayden once more. And Jamal's on 30 or 53 overnight. Salman's faced the same amount of balls and scored 42. So they're going on a fair lick, the pair of them.
Yeah. Well, this is a wicket that's designed for reasonably fast scoring.
It certainly is. Although it was interesting that England batted one over more than Pakistan, and scored 267 runs more. It says something, doesn't it? That is just defended out into the covers, and there is no run. So over 150 overs, that's nearly 1.6 runs per over more. No, more than that, probably nearer 1.7.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That partnership between Brook and Root was something you'll only see once in 20 years.
Yeah, well, actually, you could see it 3 times in this test series. If all 3 tests end up being played at Multan, that one is defended back down the track and there's no run. They have to do something. You've got to give something to the bowlers in this game. It doesn't. It can be as flat as a pancake for 3 days, but the spinners have got to come into the game. Otherwise, it's just fucking. It's just wrong.
It is wrong. I remember how much criticism there was of the MCG wicket after that draw or whenever Alistair Cook made all those runs. And it's totally unfair. It's the sort of thing that puts you off wanting to bowl.
Well, it does, and it puts you off wanting to bother to, watch. Because, the thing is, I know there's been loads and loads of test history with draws as that's played into the onside and there's no one. But I think in the modern era, if you're going to have a game that lasts 5 days, people want to see at least a result after 5 days, right? Or if it is a draw, it's a tense draw because it's got down right to the end and you've got a couple of wickets left and an hour to go sort of thing. And you've got to offer something to the bowlers. If you're not offering anything to the bowlers, it's just it becomes a psychological battle, which England have won in this situation. But if England have only got 500, then this game would be fucking tailing off to well, now I suppose we could have bowled them out as well cheap and then got the runs and everyone was saying it was a great test wicket. I just don't buy it. I'm sorry.
Nah. If India was playing England on this pitch, probably both teams would make 1,000. It's just nuts.
Yeah. Well, England could have gone on to 1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, edged! Oh, but there's no fucking first slip, is there? There's a third slip. Of course there isn't. It has to be fair and said, after I play a jingle,
2 + 2 is a number. 2 + 2 is a number.
I can't remember an actual catch in the slips. Has there been anyone caught in the slips? There's been people caught behind, thin edges.
I don't know, but I do tend to agree with Billy's view that you shouldn't sort of split the slips up. If you're going to have a slip, have a first slip, because that's where there are going to be more edges than anywhere else.
You kind of maybe think, people don't seem to think like that. I think they'll get slightly more. Well, this is what I mean. If you don't expect slips in the catches, you maybe expect something to come off the face as they're trying to cut it, and it goes a little bit squarer. That one is just defended into the onside, and there is no run. But yeah, it's just not a good wicket.
No, it's not.
And potentially, it hasn't been announced yet, but I've heard a rumour that the third test has been changed from Rawalpindi and is going to remain in Multan. Atkinson in. Ooh, that one nipped back was foolish. It was well defended by Salmon, but it got the inside half of the bat, harrowing back towards the stumps. The cracks seem to have opened up a little bit. It's certainly more visible this morning. All the grass is completely burnt off now. But it doesn't look very dusty though, does it? It's held together very, very well. Maybe it's just the type of earth, but then you've got to try and do something. Like the type of earth from 37 degrees, maybe it just doesn't add up to being able to produce something that helps. But I can't believe that. Flat tap by Salmon. The bottom hand comes off the bat, but gets it out through square leg. Crawley fields, and there'll be a single.
There was one catch at sit by Joe Root of Sajid Keel in the first innings, which was a brilliant catch. That was a little spinner there.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, that's different. Then I'd say.
And there was Duckett's one, of course, where he did his thumb.
Yes.
Also off route.
Yeah. Sure, Bashir should have caught that yesterday. Yeah. Might have been over last night if you had. Anyway, Atkinson is in, and that's defended out into the covers. I think we'll probably only get about 7 or 8 or 9 overs of pace before both spinners are on. And hope.
Yeah, I think that'll be right.
I presume there's been a heavy roller on this morning as well.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, the pitch for the second test that starts on Tuesday is about 3 pitches across. I wonder if their preparation of that is impaired by the fact that there's a match going on for the whole of these 5 days.
No, I imagine I can work. I mean, I imagine it's pretty much. It looks pretty well prepared already. It's not like you have. Oh, now it's clipped into the leg side. aerially to the straighter of the two mid wickets, but it bounced just before it got to him.
It is sort of rolling concrete, isn't it?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to worry about rain.
Yeah. Brown in Brisbane's with us, says, morning, sorry for the late arrival. Are we expecting this to make it as far as lunch? I doubt it. 2.5 hours to lunch. I'd be surprised. Tanduka says, good evening, guys. David Durrell says, morning. Been raining here in Turku for 3 days. Oh, that must be depressing.
Be snowing soon, Dave.
Wrong says, GPL open today? Sorry for attempted humour. Daniel Beaumont says, afternoon from country Victoria. Sheffield Shield update, Messi. Well, I can tell you the match between Tasmania and Victoria's ended in a draw. South Australia are making a decent attempt to chase down a big score against New South Wales, but that will probably end in a draw or a New South Wales victory. And Western Australia looking to set a target for Queensland at the Wacker.
Oh, maybe, just a little bit in the air there for Wokesy. It was defended nicely by Salmon.
One interesting thing about this round of Sheffield Shield matches is a lot of Australian Test players have been in action. Labuschagne and Marsh have both made some runs. Renshaw's made a lot of runs in his attempt to get into the team. Kawaj has made a few. And I heard Maxwell is going to play for the Victorian second 11 shortly, which is a bit weird.
Trying to get back in the Test team again. That was a bad experiment. Wokes in. That's a decent ball again. It's defended by Salmon to off Hayden. I forgot what I was going to say. That's really annoying. Renshaw, is he opening these days still?
Yes, he is, and I shall tell you in a minute what he did. Where are we?
Because he started quite well, didn't he? When he came in for an Ashes series, didn't he? And that fucked him up, I think. Or did he do okay? I can't remember. It was a while ago, and then he disappeared. Oh, now that's squared up Salmon a bit. This is a good line of attack from Wokes. He's bowling straight and at the stumps, forcing Salmon to play. He's got the field to be able to do it. He's got a lot of close infielders, hopefully not allowing him to get away and get the single.
Marcus Harris has done well. He's scored 143 and 52, so he's put his name forward as well.
Well, I mean,
whereas Bancroft got a pair.
I mean, I think I can't imagine Smith will be happy staying at opener. No, too long. I think they need to solve that problem. Well, that's pulled, flapped in the air. Oh, just over the top of those mid wickets. I think it's Atkinson. No, you can't see who that is. Maybe it's Cars who's gone to field it, but it wasn't too far over his head. It's flapped at by. Was it Sagar Arman? Yeah, it was. And he ballooned off the top half of the bat with no timing, just over the top of Cars. Well, you imagine that. Chances will come. I've noticed one of these.
Super chat! A super chat from a huge YouTube hero! They're awesome and smart.
It's a good one. That's attempted cut by Jamal. Gets under edge, goes to root a third slip.
Daniel Beaumont very generously sent us $30 Australian and 99 cents. Says, thanks, Messi. I love your work, lads. Thank you, Daniel. That's just great to hear. Very happy to have you on board.
Well, this is a very funky field. England have got an off and on Hayden. They've got a short extra cover, a short cover. They've got an on Hayden, a short straightish mid wicket, and a mid wicket. It's like a little V shape around the batsman. And he bowls one wide of the off stump that he doesn't need to play at. Ahmed Jamal, I think that was the last ball of the over. It was indeed 162 for 6, trailed by 105 to Pakistan. Over to you, Messi.
Davy Pat says, morning all, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? Well, almost. Stephen Kelk says, morning grillers, I'm here hopefully for a good time, not a long time. Dara Azizi says, I love Root's humility when it comes to his batting record. He rarely talks about the key wickets he's taken either. Richard Harmon says, having breakfast in northern Italy, which reminded me of Messi's story yesterday. Apparently there's a little known SOG in Prince's extensive faults called song in Prince's extensive faults called Pass the Marmalade. in brackets, sticky wicket. And Mayank says, I think it's time Pakistan start playing 5 tests against teams like Zimbabwe and Ireland. They're not really capable to compete against top teams.
Well, that is harsh. That's worked into leg side. They are having a rough trot, but they don't have a bad side. I mean, there was a pretty good batsman in there. I mean, I guess Babar being completely off colour for a good while doesn't help in the middle order. And Rizwan doesn't... Rizwan, you think would be the answer, but in the last 2, they went back to Sarfraz Ahmed, didn't they? I mean, he's retired now, but... whilst he's a reasonable keeper, his batting form from ODIs and white ball cricket has never really I've never seen it really transfer to his batting in Test matches. Very fine little flick down the leg side by Sagar Aman. That will bring him one of these and
4 on the floor, and 1 more 4 than the 4 before. That's what 4s are for, to get funky on the dance floor.
You know you lift me with your 50.
And Pakistan needs some lifting. I mean, they have got a potentially good side. I mean, I think psychologically they're a bit broken. But then, when at the end of Root's captaincy in COVID times, I think we went 18 tests and lost 17 or something stupid like that, or didn't win one in 18 or something daft like that.
Yeah, that's right. There were quite a few draws in there.
Defended into the offside out to Gully, and there's no run. Teams can get in a funk. And when you look at this English team, there's only been a couple of changes, and look what its record is with Stokes. It just takes something to kick it off.
Yeah. By the way, Renshaw was out for 6 in the first innings against Western Australia. He's yet to bat in the second. The other thing I should mention is a name that's going to come up in the future. Sam Constas has made 152 and 105 for New South Wales against South Australia.
Opening? That one was
yes,
a little short of a length and kept a little bit low. But Salmon was able to jab his bat on it.
It's only his 4th first-class match. He's 19 years and 9 days old, but there's a good chance it's a name you may hear well into the future.
Well, that's the kind of guy you want to shove in. Maybe you want to shove him in against India.
At the age of 19, yeah, I think that may be...
Well, I think in a modern day, England have proved that to be wrong, I think. And, I remember when I was a kid. When I were a kid, and that was a long fucking time ago, Atkinson in shorts and just balloons over the top of Salman Agate, and there ain't no run. England wouldn't fucking blood anyone under the age of about 28. It's always too young. He's too young. That slowly changed, and now people are getting thrown in. Well, I mean, now let's put it this way:
on the basis of a YouTube video.
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly not getting picked on county form. I mean, it's basically a bit of voodoo from the management team of Baz and Stokesy. You go, well, he looks like he'll fit, and funnily enough, Atkinson is guided down towards. Third man is chased down there by Rooty. No, it's not Rooty, it's Brook. And they should get back for 3, I'd have thought, on that one. Looks like they do indeed. I think that's the last ball of the over, and Sam Agger will have stolen the strike. Any more messages?
Yes, indeed. M says, Bear, do you have that smoke for breakfast? Says morning all. Nikamal Barman says Pakistan are not being unpredictable, they are predictably poor of late, which is a fair point. Oh, Mog's with us. Says, oh, hey, look, this is still going. Will you be covering BGT? Says John Cena.
What, Britain's Got Talent? No.
No. Leah says, morning all. Yagesh Punia says, Pakistan's fans hope for some rain. That ain't going to happen. Leah says, WG Rumble Pants agreed to give me an interview, so that's great. He's a lovely bloke, and he's been on the Gorilla podcast previously too. Yogesh says BGT was poor, Australia won easily. So it doesn't sound like Britain's Got Talent. I don't know what it is. And Brian says, I missed Messi's weather news earlier, but I guess Multan is warming.
It doesn't really change.
It's warmer than the 1 degree we have in
Yeah,
Southampton this morning.
exactly. My car gave me the warning that it was under 3 degrees this morning, which is always unpleasant.
Fuck.
That one is defended. We have a change in bowling up to mid-off, and there's no run. The man on the now is...
Stick your hopes of victory up to Brian Cast. Your hopes and dreams are flying at half mast. When the Brian comes a-calling, all your fools will be falling. Stick it all right up your Brian Cast.
That's not... Is that... Oh, wind percentage at home.
Yeah, it's 31 degrees and 40% humidity in Multan, so it's not unbearable. Quite a pleasant day at the moment.
Again, there's 2 short mid wickets, and Brighton Cast is noticeably quicker than what's been before, and that was inside half the bat. PAK Salmon out to mid wicket, and there's no run. Goes to show pace does count. My other point is that I think in much the same way, and I don't, I think there's a lot of purists out there going, when he got no form in county cricket, but you've got to remember, teams are, it's going to sound weird maybe, I don't know, on his toes, Salmon is a short from Brighton Cast, he just rides it behind square on a leg side and they get a single. You can have a player who's a very good player for one team because the management knows how to get what they need to get out of him, right? Change of manager, change of team, and suddenly they disappear off the radar. I mean, that's quite common with very expensive football players. And you could apply, I mean, I guess England, McCullum applies that to his England team. He's looking for a character who fits in, and they will respond to what they're getting from the management. Oh, that pops a little bit. Maybe I'll have a short leg in. Bottom hand for Jamal, didn't like that, came off the bat and just popped up in front of the wicket, well short of any fielder though, and there is no run.
I think you can overplay that though.
You can. I mean, I guess cricket's is cricket more a technical sport than football? I mean, modern football is so quick at the highest level and very, very technical now. But even more so, especially batting and things like that. It's a very mental game, isn't it? Cricket. That's short and down the arse and there's no run, especially Test cricket. It's different to many, many other sports. Concentrating for 5 days, being able to stay out in the field for. I mean, Brooke and Root yesterday, staying out in the field for the best part of 2 days, batting in 38-degree heat. It's all right, Gary, talking about fucking cyclists who have to go up hills for 3 hours, but the amount of concentration in that heat when you're not born in those conditions is phenomenal. And so finding someone who fits that and responds to what you're doing, who may not have the greatest record but is clearly capable.
Well, yeah, I look at that
works.
though, and at the same time, you're keeping out someone like Liam Dawson, whose record in both county and white ball cricket this year has been phenomenal. I think there's a place for both.
Well, there is, but the point is you're winning still. I mean, they've won a phenomenal percentage of the games they've played. They've lost.
That's true.
They've lost to India away, which with a real rookie team, and actually we're in 3 out of 5 tests. I mean, partly the inexperience of Shahid Bashir and Hartley was, the difference between the sides, and that's worked into the leg side to short mid wicket. No run.
But and I know, Bear, that from an England point of view, the wins that matter are against India and Australia. Those are the only ones that really matter for them.
It's going to be interesting when India come next summer, because obviously the Jaswal has done phenomenally well, and I imagine he'll do all right in Australia. The ball doesn't move much. It'll be interesting when he comes to England against the moving ball. I think the advantage he has is we've got not particularly experienced attack, and he is left-handed, and I think there's a lot more left-handers in the game now, but I think right arm paces this summer weren't as effective as Broad and Anderson, unsurprisingly, against the left-handers, where you thought they can get wickets. They know, they've worked out plans to get left-handers out. I think there's a lack of being able to exercise the plans from the current attack against left-handers at the moment. That's short. That's comfortably ridden by Salman Aga, and just knocks it out to the second of the mid wickets, and there's no run.
I mean, the truth is, for both England and Australia, it's been a very long time since either team won a series against India, either at home or away.
Yeah, and India have done phenomenally well. They've beaten you 2 or 3 times, or drawn and won 2, and They drew with England. I mean, they'll claim they won, but of course they abandoned the last test when they were 2-1 up, came back and lost it the next year. So it was a 2-all series. People seem to forget that. That one is ridden again, short from Atkinson. Comes, I think, off glove down towards long leg. Bashir comes
We have
around the field
another
and they'll get
super
two.
chat.
Ooh.
Mog's still in a grumpy mood, I think. He said us $10 though. Thank you, Mog. It says Pakistan number 962 World Cricket Superpower.
Oh, wow.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and Cast, the quickest of bowlers, he's got up to 90 miles an hour at times. Averaging probably only about 87. Maybe even slightly lower than that, 86. But it's a lot of hard work on a flat surface. Atkinson has got 4 balls left in this over. He's really been possibly the one chance created this morning. Well, it's not even a chance, but the one false shot. There's a leg slip in now, and it's defended out to short mid wicket. And it is no run.
Oh dear. Oh dear. David Durrell says one of the problems with living in a foreign country where translations are not good is that you buy food you're unsure about. The pork sausage I bought turns out to be pork with horse meat.
Ah.
Ooh.
Well, I know we all like horses and ride them, but I imagine the meat's quite good. Quite a lean animal, you know. Get it off the flank.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the French eat
Yeah,
horse.
except the ones. Yeah, but the ones which are put into meat are generally the
glue factory
absolute
ones.
rejects, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, still probably put decent muscle tone. That's worked off the hip by Salmon down to long leg. Bashir field once again.
Oh dear, big caught out. BGT, of course, isn't Britain's Got Talents. It's the Border Gavaskar Trophy, which is
right.
Australia-India. Gorilla won't be covering that. It's partly because it's in the middle of the night.
Yes.
I don't think White Line Wireless will be, because there's a lot of domestic coverage of that. There's at least 3 radio stations that will be covering it as well as the TV.
Well, Atkinson is in, drops down towards Gully, third slip, and is fielded by Brooke, I think, and there is no run. Well, I mean, a couple of years ago, Dave Brooke got us to do the final one of the series. I think it must have been Sydney or something, and it just rained for a couple of days. And then Dave was, you know, I said, I'll do it on a proviso that you're here every day, Dave. And of course, then he tried to duck out after day 3, and it's just like, it's all well and good. So it's clipped round the corner down towards. There's 2 square legs out. There's one just behind square and one more long leg. But that's clipped by Jamal down towards there, and they'll get 2 runs quite comfortably. Over to you, Messi.
Okay, Mayank says Pakistan are about to be 3 for 15 in tests. 3 from 15 in tests since 2022 after this. Let's be real, the Pakistan team can't be expected to do well against any of the World Test Championship teams. Mog says, also, why are there only 2 of you? Yeah, Forthy hadn't made it this morning. Actually, we're due for a change. Who else is due on?
Well, Adjit's in the waiting room.
Jason. Oh, Adjit's there, and Jason should be around.
No, he's not. There's 2. I think there's 2 bloody rotors, aren't there?
Yeah, but both of them had the same starting team.
Yeah. I'm here to sub if required. I didn't see Forty was on. I was thinking if required I can sub myself in.
Yeah, sub yourself in.
Yeah, you come in on summarising if Jason's not around.
Yeah. Well,
you best stay on ball by ball, Bear.
Yeah, I will do. When someone turns up, we'll switch it around. We're quite loose.
And Mog, if you're around, you're very welcome to come in and take over from me.
I'm very curious what's got Mog's goat over the last couple of days.
Oh, I
don't know.
Maybe work.
Maybe like the rest
does
of
work
us.
for the Australian government, which is enough to piss anybody.
Well,
Indeed.
yeah.
Yes.
Bryden Cast is going to continue over the wickets. It tries to bang it in. It doesn't really get up, and it's just worked off the pads by Jamal down towards Leach at long leg, and they should get back for another 2. Slowly.
I had put it over the chat Abdul Razak and Kamran Akmal had played out nearly 2 sessions against India, 2008. If you're sitting in that dressing room, you're watching the highlights, you're sort of geeing yourself up, thinking these two can do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only good thing is England will get a new ball. I mean, they bowled 44 overs with this. Even at current rate, it'll be around about... if these two are still batting when England get the new ball, it'll be around about parity.
Absolutely. That's the whole point.
And I think even if Pakistan lasted till tea, England would chase down whatever it is after tea.
Exactly. I mean, if they'll also need to score fast enough, I suppose. Oh, yeah.
Pinged on the head, Jamal. It's a short
It's
run from
scorned him.
Cast. And he totally has scorned him, turned his head, and it's bounced off his helmet. Was he the one who got hit in the first? I can't remember who got hit and pinged on the head in the first innings. But he's taken his helmet off, bit of a shake-up, and we'll have a little bit of time. Might as well do some... they can have a person come out.
Root steps in to ask. I think Root was in square leg, short leg. Oh, because the side of the helmet.
It was the side
just
of
above the earpiece.
Well, he doesn't have the thingy, does he? The little bit.
No, he doesn't have that extra piece that was introduced after 2018.
Yeah, it did hit just above that. It did actually hit the main part of the helmet, but that's a nasty place to get hit.
I think so. I mean, helmets these days are pretty sturdy, I'm sure, but still, it's not a nice experience. England continue with their funky fields. There are 3 catchers close on the leg side. I think Shan Masood fell for it yesterday.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's in this wicket though, Edger, is a little bit of stopping every once in a while when it hits a crack. Every once in a while it manages to move off the straight with one that hits a bit of a crack. But there isn't a lot of it even now still. I think the biggest one is the slight change of pace and the ball keeping low. But again, even that, it's not, once every 4 or 5 overs you see one to go, ooh, it's not a very good test wicket. It really isn't.
Muttley says, I thought I heard sausages again. M says, I've eaten raw horse in Japan. It was delicious. Mog says, the French are fucking culinary idiots, though, Bear. To which Mr. Rollout says, cheers, Mog. Love from Paris. By the way, horse is delicious. Lots of iron bits, like cross between beef and offal. Imagine steak and kidney pie with horse. You don't need the kidney. Wow. And Muttley says somebody forgot this isn't test match sofa anymore and fell asleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, at least for now, I know in the Netherlands they do eat horse. It's something that came into the cuisine. It was apparently there 250 years ago. It came into the cuisine after the World War II.
Yeah,
There was a real shortage of good meat.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it is, there are, let's face it, I mean, people eat dogs, people eat rats. I mean, depending on your culture, you eat.
I think
it's
East
protein,
Asian
man. It's
spots, they do eat
protein.
dogs.
It's only because we've grown up on factory farm shit that we're not still shooting stuff in woods and bringing it home.
Nah, man,
Eating
certain parts
more,
of the world just also
eating
do
more
that.
rabbits and blah blah blah.
Game.
Yeah.
Nothing
They
wrong
do
with
do
rabbit.
that.
Well, exactly.
Rabbit's delicious.
Can't quite attest to any of that, but I'll take your word.
I've had rabbit. Rabbit's good.
Yeah, it's funny
Rabbit's
though,
good.
isn't it? You sort of anthropomorphise animals, and so they suddenly become inedible. Like,
Yes.
Eating dog or cat seems.
Yeah, I mean, but this is it. I mean, there was
meat.
there was a whole scandal about horse meat and English beef about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I can't remember exactly when. And I remember not being too exercised by it. It's like, well, okay, yeah, I'm supposed to be told it's beef, but I imagine horse meat's quite good. What's everyone complaining about? Is horse meat better than cow? Who knows? Depends on your taste, I guess. And I'll take this agreement with Mog. I think the French cook extraordinarily well. I love French cooking.
So do I. I agree. Dave Wood says, "Are we playing for the Gatting Shakur Rana Trophy here?"
Ooh.
Ooh.
So, are we back or are we still?
No.
Yeah, and I was just showing some highlights or lack of cleverness from somebody.
Yeah, the one drop catch by Bashir, and it was an
That was
sitter.
what a sitter.
It was a sitter.
I was about to joke, did he drop the game? But anyway, what's
Well-
wrong with Bashir? Just more learning curve or?
Yeah, very
flat?
much so. Bryden cast in, and it's defended once more out to the onside, and there's no run.
this is, I suppose, positive leg theory, if anything. This sort of field setting and not exactly attacking the body with an intent to hurt, as in from around the wicket, but over the wicket, try to get them to hit into it, the leg side for a catch.
Yeah, it nearly worked earlier. There was one that popped up just over the top of the mid wickets. You're from this part of the world. Is there anything you can do to improve the wicket and make it more bowler friendly? After this ball, cast short down the arse, no run, carry on.
It's about probably looking at what is the natural, the nature of the pitches. So Ramiz Raza, I think, when he was the chairman, he did some changes. He said pitches should be of a certain way. Many people in Pakistan are unhappy. Natural variations have been taken out. They tried chipping in some pitches. They tried a few things. But then you're also risking a potential that the pitch may break up soon. There may be a 3-day game instead of a 5-day game.
Well, I'd rather the pitch broke up and it became a competition rather than this fucking dull shit. I mean,
I think
cars
they do
prefer, I know they prefer, but it's not good for the game. It's, you know,
no.
It's guided down towards third man, and there'll be 2 runs.
Who'd want to be a bowler there today?
Yeah, well, exactly. Who wants to be a fucking bowler? It's just, you know.
It's interesting to see that the draw started today at 21-1. It's now in at 6-1.
Wow.
It's not
I
going to be a
put
draw.
$5 on it, to be honest, just in case.
No, I mean, no. I don't see these. Wait, I know
I don't either.
Very similar. Jamal is a Razak-like character, and probably Salman is a much better batter than Kamran Akmal ever was.
Yeah. I mean, they do have high scores that would take them past England if they get there. That's just works into the leg side and there's no run. You know, and Naseem can hit it and Shaheen can hit it. But but I do think when it comes to it, the new ball will be, if it goes that far, which is possible. A 45 over ball is not doing very much. The new ball yesterday was doing things, and I think it will do things when it comes in, and that'll be the breakthrough if it has to go that far, which will be fairly into the afternoon session, I thought.
Correct.
Mr. Rollide in Paris says, remember a few years ago in Britain where they were livid because beef was cut with horse? I thought, lucky bastards.
Well, exactly, that's what I was just saying.
Yeah. And Mog says, have you ever had Ortolan? Also, is Abra going to be able to bat? Apparently not, Mog.
Abra can't bat. That's the other thing.
Yeah. So
he's out of commission.
He's out of commission. 3 wickets left. Ortolan, isn't that bird that was it Jacques Chirac? It's protected in France. It's a little like robin, and they cook it and eat it whole, and it's supposed to be a delicacy. It's quite rare. You're not supposed to eat it. And I think there was a French president. I think maybe it wasn't Jacques Chirac. Maybe it was the one after. There was a big scandal because there was a story that he'd eaten one and loved it. Or something like that. I think that's the Ortolan. The funky field is still there. There's a short mid wicket and on and off Hayden. And Wokes is back into the attack. And that is just knocked square by Salman for a single.
He's doing the right thing, he's trusting his partner. He's also rotating the strike when possible, because probably on this pitch, Cars is more dangerous than Wokes with this stage of the ball, You'd rather take all the runs you get.
Well, Cars is the quickest and looks the most effective, followed by Atkinson and Wokes. It would look good with a new ball when it was doing a little smidgen, but not so much now.
We see more changes. Fine leg is moved a little bit more towards long leg, and a catching mid-wicket comes in place, apart from the on and off Hayden and a traditional mid-wicket. A more squarer mid-wicket is also in place. So it looks like a leg theory, but I think they're playing more for a caught at that wide slip.
Or a clip into the leg side. That's why you've got 2 mid-wickets, isn't it? 2 right-handers. You've got to bowl straight for that, though. That's played out to the cover. Leach is fielding, and there'll be a single. 2 right-handers. Leach would be the obvious spinner to turn to.
Correct. I'm expecting, because there's the first half hour or something, they're seeing out a certain plan, but otherwise Leach will become the holding bowler very shortly for England.
Exactly. Of course, Ahmed Jamal's highest test score was 82. So,
he did very well in Australia on bouncy pitches.
Yeah.
They didn't really cover themselves in glory there either, but that's understandable, that far away from home and against such a different attack.
The only team to beat Australia and Australia was India over the last God knows how many years. Defended.
South Africa used to do really well.
Yeah, they used to, not so much anymore. It's defended that into the covers and there's no run. They send out second teams now.
That's another story, isn't it?
South African cricket's a shambles. Right?
Yeah.
All they've got is the SA-20, which just
Well, they're trying to use it to save their entire game. I mean, it's really damning on the ICC, really, and the distribution of funds. That is short of a length and punched nicely by Jamal, but straight up to mid-off. It's a little bit deep, and there is no run.
West Aussie Leeds says, after brilliantly predicting yesterday's run feast followed by a dramatic collapse, I now have a feeling this could be a frustrating day for England with wickets hard to get. P.S. summer has arrived. It's just hit 30 degrees in the outer here at the Wacker, where Queensland are chasing 360 and 60 overs against Western Australia. Renshaw and Khawaja are at the crease.
Good to hear. Some potential Aussie players. And definitely potential Aussie players there. Vokes is bowling well within himself.
Yeah. That's pulled. There's a bit of aerial, but it's over the top of the mid wicket, and it'll make it to the boundary.
Yeah.
And that'll be the first one of these for a little while.
100 partnership.
Wow. Brave batting this. And long way to continue.
Yeah. I think it will be a frustrating day in some senses for England. It's not going to be. I don't think it will be over quickly. I still think they'll get there. They're so far ahead of the game that.
Frankly, that was a difference in that game. By the time Pakistan ended their innings, they declared they were, because up to an hour before end of play they were leading by 293. You can't see that happening today.
No. Well, you could if there was some batsmen left, but they are really down to it. It's defended into the offside, and there's no run, and there could be a big partnership here, but even a big partnership here probably doesn't save the game, does it?
They just have to bat out the day. Just call it like that. But that takes a lot. Why I'm saying this? I have an interesting story. Myself, anything on the socials?
Well, there's a bit here. Mr. Rollat says, Autoland, a tiny bird caught in a trap. And Mogg says, South Africa couldn't beat their way out of a wet paper bag with a greased up mallet at the moment. That's it. Yeah, you go.
No, so on that day, Inzamam was the captain of the Pakistan team. So when Akmal and Razak went out to bat, he used to like a smoke, but it was not entirely acceptable that he be seen smoking. So he went into the loo to have a quiet fag. What happened is they kept batting so well, he was encouraged to stay in there.
He's a skipper. That's pulled by Salman down to
he had
long
to
leg
sit
for a
out
single.
like 1/4 of a day or 1/2 of a day in the loo, so that his team's fortunes wouldn't change. That's the apocryphal story, at least.
Yeah. Well, if they're going to keep bowling short and they're going to keep hooking, something's going to go wrong sooner or later, isn't it?
You see that man who's sort of 3/4 way to the boundary at square, like he's going to come into play to Jamal. I think they're setting this up slowly. He got scorned. Another ball came, so Aga plays it very comfortably around the corner. Now you're going to see
proper leg theory. Castle's gone around the wicket. There is a short leg and there is a leg slip and there is a pull, and he's got it off the gloves. There is it looks like there's a fly slip as well. It's Crawley.
Yes.
So they
just landed in between the keeper and fly slip.
Indeed. I think it was off glove. It certainly ballooned up over Smith.
Yeah.
I think they're entirely playing into England's hands at the moment by wanting to go attacking against the short ball, because England's not going to worry about runs.
Yeah, it was off the glove as well.
No, I think he's not really comfortable at that pace. Coming in at his head. He's a little rattled. Jamal looks like.
It does indeed. Carlson again short, and Salmon's not so rattled. He just ducks his head and lets that go over the top of him.
I'm wondering if he should just take a bit of the strike until this car spell is done. Vokes is not looking that much threatening, and Jamal was able to pull him to boundary last over. So maybe 3 overs. If he gets a strike, I think he retains the strike if possible. Salman, and what an innings he's playing and what a test he's been having. At least with the bat.
That was fucking short.
It was too short. It
was too short, but exactly. It just only got over his head, and he ducked underneath it.
We don't see this often with so many leg fielders.
Cast in bottom hand comes off the bat of Salmon as he tries to. It didn't get up. Tries to knock it down to fine leg. Gets a single. Is that a no ball? Is it umpire putting his arm out? Maybe not.
No, with so many leg fielders, umpire Dharmasela has chosen to stand at point where he's alone, all by himself.
Now, did they not take the single there? It's showing that Salmon.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
He didn't.
I told you.
Ah,
No, he's
well,
decided to
that
keep the
well, that
strike.
plays into England's hands as well in its own right. I think that says something, doesn't it? You get
It's a change. You've gotten something.
goes back over the wicket this time. Changing all the time. He's getting on the money though this morning. Carter's bowled. A lot of people have had a pop at Cast and said he's not good enough.
No.
He's been all right. A bit wayward at times, but the pitch hasn't been particularly helpful. Let's face it.
Absolutely. No, and he's been that enforcer sort of a bowler throughout. Even in the first innings, he did well. In this case, he's, as you say, rattled the batsman a little, and he's been on the money. At into the midriff area the whole time.
And that's back round wicket short. This time it's down leg side, and no need to play for it for Salmon. No run. How long have we been out there? Nearly an hour. Spinners, probably another half hour of this, and then spinners.
Yeah.
I see.
Diana Patterson is with us on Blue Sky. She says, just so you have something on Blue Sky, good evening, my time. And Kiwi by Day says, good evening from Taranaki. It's great to have Kiwis on board. Leah says, hi, Arshid. Mog says, what the fuck is Carlos doing with his hair? He's maintain the range, Mog. Sophie KL says, hello. Enjoying the commentary from Lavina in northern Bali. In line with others, can see this not being quite the walk in the park that England might have expected at the start of the play. And Mog says, play the Blue Sky jingle.
Blue Sky jingle? We got a Blue Sky jingle? Even I don't know where that is, Mark, and I know where everything is.
Blue Sky.
Are you taking a piss out of me, or are you actually?
Now, I bet there is one.
Yeah.
I mean, Mog's made a blocking jingle for scratching yourself. He's anything
Really?
that happens, there's a jingle for.
Well,
Wow.
pretty much. Yeah.
Literally.
Does it even apply when you're scratching below the visible screen? Anyway.
Well, Wokes is in. Wokes is doing a sensible thing, bowling a tight length, trying to arrow in on the off stump, which is probably the best thing Wokes can do. It is just defended, and there is no run.
Mog
England
said
have
it
also
in
done
2 weeks
well.
ago, Bear.
And they've done well.
Oh,
Keep
God,
the
yes,
catching
there
fielders front of the wicket. When Wokes is bowling, we can see Leach already warming up. I think it's 1 hour mark. The moment they hit close to the 1 hour mark, he's already warming up, you see.
Yeah.
England's hat has 2 red, blue stripes the sides. That's a new thing.
I didn't see that. Defended by Jamal, out to the covers, and there is no run. I'm just.
If you see Leach warming up, you'll see that bucket hat that he's wearing. You see, or that
Oh, yeah.
2 parallel blue lines up the side. There's some more invention probably,
Just so they can get more advertising money.
maybe, or just it looks nice. We don't know. There's no advertiser yet there. Maybe one day there will be. But yeah, Bashir opened the bowling. He was not very successful, but he'll also have something to do yet if Pakistan bat time today.
Wokes in short, tries a short one, but he's not the pace of Carson. Jamal goes back, pulls that comfortably in front of square, over the 2 short mid wickets. And it will be one of these. And you know what you can do? If you can...
I'll go to blue sky, fuck Twitter in the eye, post on blue sky.
Nice. I have to create an account there for my podcast, maybe. I don't know. There are many Twitter, let's say, like Twitter sites that come up but they don't stay much. Is Blue Sky here to stay, do you think?
Well, if Musk carries
got the best
on,
chance.
it's got. I mean, it's the same guy who made Twitter, and it's Jack Dorsey who's made it. Wokes in, defended comfortably by Jamal, up to off Hayden, and there is no run.
I mean, I think this is going to be the last over for Wokes. You're going to see Leach from the side next over.
I reckon so.
And I dare say Cars might bowl 1 more at max, at most. After that, he's going to be replaced, and I'm going to see Gus Atkinson in that enforcer role.
Yeah, I think you'll get a couple more overs to Gus Atkinson, and then I'll probably go to Shoaib Bashir. It's a long session, isn't it? 2.5 hours, followed by an hour off.
Yeah, this is the day where they'll have a longer lunch for prayer session. So
Yeah. Here comes Wokes, 5th ball of the over, bowling at Ahmed Jamal. And that's a slower ball, that's straight, very slow it seems. And he just taps it to mid-wicket and there is no run.
he looks good. He looks to be up for it actually, Jamal. And that's nice to see. That's glint in his eye.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good wicket to bat on, isn't it?
Also that, why not get a debut 100 while you can?
Yeah.
Alright, not a debut 100, first 100. And Aga Salman has done really well. He's probably taken the most balls out of any Pakistan's batter in this test.
Yeah, well, his 100 in the first innings is reasonably quick. Oh, that's an attempt to pull, and that does keep low. And Jamal gets an under edge. Fortunately, it doesn't go back on his stumps. It just drops out on the offside, and there is no run. That's the ball that will eventually do them in some way or another.
Yeah, like that. It's so slow that it's you played 3 shots and then it takes the edge.
And it just keeps low. It doesn't get up where you think it's going to get. It's one of those, if you bowl that straight, you can get an LBW. I mean...
oh, wow. Okay.
Leach could get one that scoots along the ground, or Bashir. And I don't think it'll be too many. It'll be, you only need 1 or 2 when Pakistan are in this position. I mean, Pakistan have got something to play for here. Even if they lose, they don't want to be the first side in history to get over 500 runs and lose by an innings. I mean, that'll just be, you know, even more shit.
Mog says, lucky you had that 300 jingle yesterday, right?
Yeah,
yes,
played
indeed.
that.
Martley says that wasn't the Blue Sky jingle I was expecting.
Oh.
And Brian in Brisbane says, years ago there was a TV show about whining kids being taken back to their grandparents' homeland to experience the tough life. A vegan girl had to eat the local diet of guinea pig. Fuck me. Martley says, Mr. Handjob keeping us guessing. And M says, I'd love to have seen that, Brian. A vegan girl sounds like a Star Trek alien. Indeed.
Well, it's either eat it or starve, isn't it? I was watching one of these such programs. They were on British TV, and they were in some islands near the Cook Islands or something, out that way, and they were catching tarantulas to have with their whatever they managed to forage out of the forest. Not sure even I could do that, you know.
Yeah.
I think if you're in Australia, Tara, cats like eating those big spiders, those redbacks on the legs.
No, you don't want to eat them. No.
The redbacks aren't particularly big.
Big.
The biggest spiders tend to be the huntsmen, which are quite big but not particularly venomous. I get them on the walls here from time to time. They're beautiful looking animals, actually. Sorry about that for those who are arachnophobic.
Yeah, spiders have always fascinated me.
Is anybody in the waiting room, by the way, Bear?
No. I don't know what's going on with 40 today.
He's had a technical meltdown.
Oh, has he?
Oh, sorry to hear that.
James is supposed to be joining us at 7. He's still got 5 minutes. He's probably setting up and getting himself a cup of coffee.
In the meantime, 1 hour nearly of play, and Pakistan have gotten through it fairly unscathed. A couple of blows to the body and such. But, well, if you're England, you're still not thinking of anything more than, even after lunch, you're still not thinking of anything. But what does this mean for the rest of the series if it were to be played out again in Multan?
Well,
is in Multan.
The rumour has it the third test has been changed back to Multan.
Exactly.
Well, they've got to do something. This is what I was asking you. Can you do anything? Because you can't play 3 tests like this. I mean, it'd be great. I mean, Root might, catch up with fucking Raul Dravid by the end of this test series if they carry on like this. He'd score 1,000.
Who knows?
He scored 250 in one game. If he gets, I mean, the only problem with that is he probably only gets to bat once in each test. But he gets a double 100 in each test. He's 750 runs, and Brooks scored a triple ton. There were. Let's face it, there were 3 tons for the Pakistanis in the first innings.
Correct.
And Shah Masood got a 150. It's just ludicrous.
I would say just continue the second test on the same pitch.
Well, I mean, that's what I was saying. I agree. You just fucking carry on the same pitch and hope it breaks up.
Oh, it will. It's already beginning to stay
In
low.
fact, you should play if they do that, they should carry on with a third test on the same pitch and go from craziness one end to craziness the other end in a whole series. Well, we were correct. It has been an hour, and Jack Leach is going to bowl.
Coming up, here's a face that I know. It's Jack Leach. Now coming up is Jack Leach. On Jack Leach.
His first ball is just onto the pads and knocked into the leg side by Salmon. There is no run. No sign of any turn. There is a slip. There is no leg slip yet. They've got a couple of covers, shortish. Given a bit of air, that's a good ball. That's what I like compared to Bashir. His control of length is much better and gives it a little bit more flight. Well, he's a shorter man, I suppose. Tried to work it in the leg side, so we got a leading edge out to the offside. Oh, that's a filthy delivery there. That's a full toss. Waist high full toss. He's going to get away with it. I think it's only going to be 2 runs. It should have been smashed into the stands. Slipped out, he'll say, if you're saying things kindly.
Well, we have to start, right? So it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I mean, also sometimes when you're looking for a really good ball, well, shit gets wickets now.
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely. Wow. Oh, now that's a good shout for OBW, and it's been given. I'm not sure it is out. Yes. I'm sure he'll review that.
That's the way to come back, I suppose.
It is. It was a slightly flatter, slightly quicker one. It has been reviewed. I think he might get away with this. It might be sliding out. It depends if it straightens enough.
No. I think it's done enough. He was stuck more towards middle rather than middle and leg.
You think? I thought it was more leg. Let's see. Well, we will see. But
it'll only be shaving the leg stump, I reckon.
Let's have a look. It's pitched on about middle. I think it's straightened, actually. I think that's straightened enough and held its line enough. I think it's going into the leg stump. I think that is out. A little bit of turn. Not a great amount of turn, but enough. It certainly missed the inside edge of the bat.
Well, enough to make it go one stump.
Yeah,
missing it
exactly.
Straight leg. So that's good bowling then.
It's fucking very good bowling.
What a start and what a change. The rhythm, the change of rhythm, the moment the ball is 25, 30, 40 kph slower.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen this multiple times. It can immediately bring you a wicket.
Yeah, I think that's out. I'm so confident I'm going to play the fucking jingle.
Oh. The crowd says! The crowd says! The crowd says you!
Yeah, it's held its line enough. It's hitting leg stump. Great bowling from Jack Leach. And immediately Salman Agha is the man out, and he's the better of the 2 guys there. And suddenly Pakistan looks a long way off.
I was so hoping he'll get another 100. You know, in this course of this innings, there's nothing else there. But a third innings or a fourth, 50, 100. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. Who am I letting in? James at least turned up. Mind you, if Forthy's had technical issues, what's wrong? How can he have such technical issues? Computers or Wi-Fi? It's only going to be one of 2 things. Well, that's great news for England.
Anything can happen when you've got kids.
Well, his kids are all grown up. What are you on about? And they should be helping him out. And if they're anything like Tectone, I think Forthy's slightly better than Tectone, but yeah. I struggle with this stuff. Well, Shaheen is the next man out. And here's a jingle that goes like this.
It's always time for Shaheen Afridi. No, not that other guy, that Shaheen. It's always time for Shaheen Afridi. No, not that other guy. Shaheen Afridi, Shaheen Afridi.
Do I hear a old friend of the show on this tune, Nakul, in that jingle?
No.
No, it sounds like that, but I thought that was
No.
I don't think Nakul's on any of our actual
jingles.
So James is supposed to be doing ball by ball if he wants to come in.
Well, yeah, I'll do the last 2 balls. But when you do come on, James, I'm going to nip off and make a coffee.
Do I stay on?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
me. Yeah, I'm here all morning.
Perfect. Thank you.
Well, I'm the only person in the studio. There's no
Thanks
point.
for jumping in, though, actually.
No worry. No
Yeah,
worry.
indeed. Thanks. Props forward to Shaheen, defended back to the bowler. And there's no one. There's nothing worse than sitting here having to play jingles whilst you're not on air. So, as I'm the only person in, Tone has put me on for every session, which is cool.
Wow. Oh well, for Shaheen, there's a catching slip. There's a short leg and a leg slip.
Yep. And that one goes across Shaheen. It's just defended out behind square on your side. And there's no run. But England got the breakthrough. Genius. And with that, we'll say goodbye to you, Ajit.
Thank you.
And we shall say hello to James. Morning, James.
Good morning, James.
Good morning. How are you both?
Very well, thanks.
Good. I'm feeling, James, that you and I were the optimistic ones at the start of day 3, while Tony was forecasting doom and gloom, and you and I have been proved right.
I know. Tone and fucking Hendo.
Well, I like to think that there is a life lesson in this, which is optimism is always the best path to take.
I totally agree with you.
I really do.
You'd both make very good Australians, to be honest.
Okay, now you're getting nasty there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, mate, you should go and make your coffee, bearing in mind that you've got a routine day ahead of you.
Well, indeed.
If it keeps going.
Well, I think now we might well end before lunch. Anyway, I'm going to go and make a coffee. I'll be back shortly.
What have you made of it this morning, Messi?
Well, I quite enjoyed the 100 stand for the 8th wicket or 7th wicket, but it was sort of inevitability about it. But I also like the fact it was Leach that got that wicket, because I think he's much better than he's given credit for.
Well, he is. Well, someone who's bowling at the moment is Bryden Cass, and he's been bowling a fair amount of short stuff this morning, and that has just been pulled very easily to the boundary by the extremely proficient Jamal. I think he's not just proficient. He's got. I know this is like a sports cliche, but he's got a big heart, hasn't he? I thought yesterday he ran in and gave his all in every delivery. And this is 48 so far, very useful runs this morning.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Jamal. He's got a really fairly decent record as a batter as well. I mean, his highest score is 82. He's got an average of 33. So he's not to be sniffed at.
No, it is. It's more than half decent, and he's done a damn good job here. And he's looking down the barrel of a 50. Well, this time it's short again from Cass. Jamal backs away as though he's going to lift it over the slip cordon, but completely misses it. I guess what, folks, as is often the way with all batters, he then does a shadow shot to show what he should have done, and that was absolutely perfect. But unfortunately, no more runs here. So I guess first target for Pakistan is just to try and get England to bat again.
Absolutely. I mean, there's something psychological about an innings defeat when you've scored 550 odd in the first innings, isn't there? I've got to say that this turn up though doesn't augur well for Pakistan in the next 2 tests. They're having the stuffing knocked out of them.
Cass again. It's not as short this time. Jamal is able to just half cut it out, but it's fielded a point for no run this time. Yeah, I mean it's a little bit like I know we were talking the other match about one-hit wonders, but it's a little bit like a band who scored a number 1 with their first ever release, and they're the cock of the walk and think this is it, we've made our careers, and then they never have another hit again. That's the sort of territory we're in with Pakistan at the moment. I think that
except they've done it before.
they have, yeah. They should know. Cass comes in again. It's short again, but this time it's tighter to the body, and he's going around the wicket now. And I think that's a good move. So he's cramping Jamal for space there. Yes, it's almost like 1 or 2 members of that band have actually been in another one-hit wonders.
Yes.
And when they see that release number 2 goes into 145, oh God, it's happening again. It's happening again, like it did with Dibble Double Donk Donk, and we thought that wasn't a novelty hit. Cass is waiting here. There's a little bit of running repair on the ball. Even England can't want to change the ball at the moment. the great change. It's like a consistent magic trick for England. 92 number Cast comes in again. Round of the wicket, this line suits him, I think, but Jamal is able to manipulate that into the leg side and grab one more to take him on to 49 here, which puts Shaheen onto strike. Now, Messi, you do not strike me, as probably many of our listeners don't strike me, as someone who would watch or be aware of Strictly Come Dancing.
You're quite correct in that assessment.
There you go. That's always good to be correct early in the morning. Well, I have to tell you, for anyone out there who watches Strictly as well, maybe they've got a daughter like I have who loves it, Shaheen looks virtually identical to Aliash, one of the professionals on Strictly Come Dancing. If you haven't looked at it before, don't search Aliash because I can't spell it, but it involves Z's and J's in places you wouldn't expect. But have a look if you've got the time, if you've got the inclination. I realise I might have lost 90% of our listeners by mentioning Strictly Come Dancing at this point. Feels like
I've got him down as looking like Simon Farnaby.
Oh, as it's crashed down the ground by the Aliash Farnaby lookalike, and he's actually going to pick up a 4 here, is he? Yes, he's going to pick up a 4. Imagine we've got Bear back.
I'm back. It doesn't take long to. This kettle's quite slow, but you know.
And one more fall than the 4.
And I come back to hear you talking about fucking Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah, I'm attempting to lose our listenership in one fell swoop by mentioning shows that I know they would despise.
I despise it. I've never watched it. I think
Norcross is a complete addict.
Yeah, well, that's
really. Well, I'm going to whisper this because my daughter hasn't gone to school yet, but I have to watch it every weekend with her. I even have to dance a lot of the dances with her.
Oh, we need that video. If you can stream that on the
really
video,
you
the
don't
Gorilla
want to see
Video
me.
channel.
You don't want to see me
we do.
You don't want to see me
Anybody
doing a
making a
samba.
fool of themselves is a perfect video hit.
Messi, I'm slightly insulted by the fact that you thought I'd be making a fool of myself.
Well, you could probably make a fortune on TikTok with that, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Rollite says, I've eaten guinea pig in Peru. Went to a peasant's house for it. Scores of the little things running around the house like cute pets until one of them became dinner.
As Jack Leach, sorry, all this Strictly talk is slightly derailed our socials. Jack Leach comes in, no Ron. Do you want to get another one in, Messi?
Stephen, Darren Bevan, so England need 2 more wickets with Abrar Ahmed still sick in hospital. Yeah, that's correct. And Leah points out the knackle is on the review jingle. We don't play anymore.
Wow. He's been cancelled.
And he's also on the Watto Super Mix.
Yeah, probably, yes.
He lives on. That's a deep cut. That's for the extended CD release. Leach comes in for the second delivery this over, driven nicely by Jamal, but no dice there, no Rod. Jamal just needing 1 for his 50 here.
That was in the heavily alcohol-fueled days of the jet lag 2015 Ashes series.
Yeah, it certainly was heavily alcohol-fueled by the 3rd session. Fuck me.
It's Leach.
Messy.
Leach comes in. Leach, a man who... No, Ron again. Leach is a man who looks like possibly teetotaler, would you say? Do you think there's any of the England players that teetotal? It's Jamie Smith. Got to be teetotal.
I don't think any of them are really teetotal. Well, maybe they are in the modern sporting world.
Well, Shoaib Bashir probably is.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that feels through inclination rather than... As Leach comes in again, more leg side this time, and Jamal is able just to steer it away to the leg side, taking him on to a well-deserved 50.
Yeah.
You know you lift me with your 50.
We've just been giving him some love, but shall we give him some more love? He's done damn well here.
Oh yeah, he has. Well, I haven't been on with you, James. I mean, I've been moaning about this pitch, even if England get a result. I think it's a shit Test match wicket.
Okay, go on. Well, because it's just got nothing in it.
It's just got nothing in it for the bowlers. I mean, really we beat them psychologically by getting a stupendous score, but A, I don't think that happens every Test, and B, I just think it's just a fucking shit wicket.
Well, Jack Leach fires it into Shaheen this time. It's quicker, it's flatter. Shaheen is able to cope with it. Yeah, it's strange, this, isn't it? Because the cliche of the flat subcontinental pitch that then starts breaking up on day 5. This feels not the cliche, but the parody. I mean,
it's just not breaking. It's nothing in it. It's just not. I mean, this is it. If it broke up towards the end of day 3 or beginning of day 4, you'd say, yeah, fine.
Well, Shaheen has a hoik this time. He decides that Jack Leach is going to get a little bit, but unfortunately, old Creepy Crawley is out in the deep there, so he's able to field it. The over ends, Pakistan are 202 for 7 with 51 overs, but the important statistic is they are 65 behind. Messi.
Anna Forsyth says, fourthly, having, quote, tech difficulties. Is that code for the dog brought in another pigeon somehow taking out the power of the whole block? No, he actually got a flat tire on his bike and discovered that his battery was also flat in his phone, so he couldn't phone us to let us know. Muttley says, someone super chat to see the dance live now. I'm skint, unfortunately.
Please don't.
Brian Barish says, g'day nerds, it's 1 a.m. in Austin and I've just gotten in from the airport and crawled into my hotel bed. Which will last longer, me or Pakistan? I think Pakistan might last longer.
Yes, I got a funny feeling they may well do. Well, Cars is the enforcer.
Cars coming in now. Yeah, the enforcer coming in. Shaheen pulls it. There's no one out there at the moment, and it's trickling towards the boundary Toblerone. I don't think it's got enough legs to get it. No, it hasn't, because Jack Leith, England's premier mouth breather, is on the case and can throw it back quite easy. Yes, on the nature of dance, I would say my strengths are my hold, my position when I'm doing ballroom, and I'm quite good at a cha-cha-cha. But my daughter is a very good dancer, so essentially.
How old is your daughter?
She's 10.
Oh, okay.
It's essentially 2 hours of me feeling bad about myself and being out of breath.
It's probably quite good exercise, to be fair.
It is good exercise, but it's not a great Saturday night.
No.
I've got to be.
If you only do 2 hours at a time of feeling bad about yourself, let me introduce you to some Catholics. They do it full time.
Having married one, I don't want to know anymore.
Now, I remember the original Come Dancing when I was a kid.
Yeah, same here. Absolutely awful, wasn't it?
That weirdly, I quite enjoyed, but I was a child.
I was going to say, but I bet you quite enjoyed that because it was late at night.
Yeah, and it was quite competitive. It was
it was. There was something odd, something surreal about it.
Yes.
Comes in again. It's a short one, folks. Jamal opts it into the air. Is there anyone there? There is.
Fucking hell!
But unfortunately, that person who is Ollie Pope is as good at catching as he is as making reviews this morning. He has shelled it.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's 2 we've let go like that. Yeah. However, you feel if Shaheen is going to play like this, it may not go on too long.
No,
it's a matter of
time. I mean, I think that's what Shaheen thinks. I might as well have fun while I'm here because I'm not going to last for another 6 hours or whatever it is.
It's a peculiar that one because he ran backwards. He did a lot of the difficult work, and it seems like he stopped. It's like he hadn't gone back far enough. He misjudged it entirely.
Yeah, well, he should have turned around and been facing it rather than trying to catch it over his shoulder, maybe.
Can I shock you, everyone? Cast just bowled another bouncer. Yeah, we had Bashir. Wow. We had Bashir shell one yesterday, didn't we? We had difficult drops from Atkinson and Wokes paying each other back. And then there was another drop, wasn't there? It was like a hard chance in the slips. So we have dropped quite a few, which is probably not what you want to be doing on a pitch like this.
No, and they still probably get away with it. So
they will.
I got a really important message from Mog. Fun fact, Redbubble is having a sale. Time to get all your Gorilla merch sorted in time for Christmas. Get 20% off T-shirts.
Well, Shaheen goes again. Shaheen goes again. This time he's able to bisect the marathon men, Brooke and Root. I don't think Cars can quite believe
it'll come, Carsey, just carry on.
It's total patience. Yeah, as you were saying, Bear, if you're doing these shots, then it's going to come eventually. Yes, I was having a look at the Gorilla merch yesterday. I can wholeheartedly endorse it. It's absolutely fantastic. I particularly like the Duckets Buckets merchandise. There's a lot of varied stuff on there. If you like cricket in any way, shape or form, I guarantee you'll find something
I
good.
can tell you from personal experience, the T-shirts are very good quality and the logos are brilliant. So yeah, 20% off is quite a decent discount. So go to our website and click on merchandise.
Well, this time Cast ran in, and just as he got to delivering the ball, he stopped, as though there was a wire attached to his hand, and he was being yanked back and unable to do it. But he's got two wickets to 60. How do you feel Cast has bowled there?
I think he's bowled all right. I think he's certainly grown into it. I think he's probably a bit nervous. Could have had the wicket at Shah Massood early, couldn't he? And that would have settled him more. Toiled away, wasn't particularly accurate with the short stuff in the first innings. He's been a lot better with it in the second innings. But then I think they were flogging him at towards the end of day 2 as well, after lunch on day 2. And he's probably tired.
Short doesn't get up as much, pulled by Jamal, but for no run, fielded by Gus Atkinson. I was really impressed with him. I think he's grown into this match, and you can see why they like him. Yeah,
he bangs it in. He's clearly quicker than everyone else.
Exactly.
I mean, for all they say Atkinson's quick, he's not quick.
No, he's not.
He can bowl quick, but I mean, he operates above 85 in general, which is good. But he's not quick.
No, he's not. He's not that sort of bowler whatsoever. Whereas Cast has just got something a tiny bit different about him as he comes in again. This time it's pulled by Jamal more successfully, squarer this time, but it's fielded only 1 run. Crawley throwing that in here. Yes, I've been impressed with him. Anyway, the over has ended, and over to Messi.
So Leah says Shaheen pops up quite a bit in just some geezer videos whenever sex comes up in those. He gives us a link. But Michael Bedford says, don't play it, you might get blocked. Mike says, Knackle also did the Hardik Pandya jingle. The breaking news one says, Brian.
Yes, I believe so.
Brian says, hi to Anna Forsyth, who also says hi. And she says, I'm actually staying awake, finishing something for Knackle's birthday on Saturday. Gorilla Cricket gave me one of my best mates, so I'll always be grateful. Thanks, gang. Mike says the Jamal drop will lead to a 200 partnership. Yeah.
I like that.
Don't hold your breath on that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Or do, because you'll probably break a world record. There's been a lot of records broken in this match. Maybe that's one we don't want to break, because it might lead to something more sinister. But Pakistan have done well here this morning. Let's be positive about it. They're 59 behind. It's highly unlikely they're going to get England to bat again, but we don't want to be triumphalist about this. England have done enough triumphalism in Pakistan throughout their history.
Indeed. Well, Pakistan are top of that list of teams that have lost, having scored 500 in a Test match.
What an honour!
What an honour! 4 times, but no one's ever lost by an innings after scoring 500 in a Test match. I believe.
This is the thing. I mean, I think that's the kick in the balls, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they lose by an innings from this, I think that's when all the air goes out of the tyres. A bit like Forsyth.
I do have a correction from yesterday, though. Bish was going on about how this is the highest ever partnership away from home. The highest ever score away from home, and actually it's the second highest.
Which is the highest?
The highest was also England, I think, in Sri Lanka or something like that. Mog says, fun effect, the Hardik Pandya breaking news thing is me. And Brian Barry says, Knackle has also been one of the kindest gorillas towards me, a truly standout human. Yeah, lots of love for Knackle.
This is great. Well, Leach has bowled 2 dot deliveries. This is becoming like a Knackle tribute show. I don't know Knackle, but I really like this. Are there any other former gorillas you'd like to big up, listeners? Leach comes in again. He's on the money. Leach has looked more likely than Bashir this match. What's your spin bowling perspective there?
I think Leach is a bit. Well, I've talked about this endlessly throughout the Test, but my feelings on this are. I'll get out to you after this ball.
As it's a dot ball from Leach again.
My feelings are that they see Bashir as someone mouldable. He's very young.
Yeah.
I see Leach as the better bowler, but I think they've come to the unfortunate conclusion that he gets injured too easily and is ill too often. I think 3 out of 5 series that he's been picked for, he's basically been out of the Test by the end of day 1, sort of thing.
Yeah, you can't. I mean,
And I think that's really unfortunate on Leach, and I think he'll always get a call up as the second spinner when they go to somewhere that needs a second spinner, whilst he's still got a career going. I don't, and I just think it's a bit unfortunate for him.
Well, down the track that time, but to Novell, good over this from Leach, and at the end of it, Pakistan are still 59 runs behind. Messi.
That figure for you, England scored 849 against the West Indies in Jamaica in 1930, which must have been really good for the West Indies just trying to find their feet in Test cricket.
That's what England can do. They can go to a colony and they can hurt you even more.
Yeah. I guess technically Pakistan was never a colony.
No, well, true, in another name, shall we say.
Yes. Kieran Roseblade says, morning all, I'll be background lurking today. Isn't cricket great?
Isn't it?
And Leah says, true that, James. To quote Yitzhak Rabin, we don't celebrate the death of our enemies here. Mayank says, these two should absolutely slow down the game to a halt. Every few balls, complain of cramp, require drinks, need a pad, ask for new gloves, grind the game down to just 67 to 68 overs in the day. You're such a cynic,
Mayank, that's terrible.
I love that. I also love the fact that Cast was running into bowl there, and it was almost as though he wanted you to finish that message, Messi. Because he just put it, whoa. Messi is still reading it. I'm glad to report also, because I know I probably talk about haircuts too much, but Cast, the bleach is growing out for those fans.
Christ for that.
He was giving off vibes. He was starting to look like Jamie from Made in Chelsea. So it's very good to see the return of someone sensible. Oh, that's a hell of a bouncer to Shaheen, who attempts to fend it. Can't get anything on it, taken by Jamie Smith. Jamie Smith, who to me, sorry, I'm just doing solely lookalikes at the moment. But Jamie Smith to me strikes me as someone who'd be turning up driving an MG midget in an Ian Carmichael film in the 1950s. He's got one of those kind of little pinched features. I can't work out whether he's a fool or a cad, but he's perhaps both of those things.
So an Ian Carmichael movie in the 50s is probably not something most of our listeners have actually seen.
Oh, well, no, come on. The Bolting brothers, 50s and 60s. We've got to get there as it's turned around the corner there by Shaheen. He doesn't attempt an expensive. That's almost like he wanted to be a proper batsman then, and he ran down the wicket like that as well, holding his bat very tenderly.
So who's our James Robertson Justice then?
Oh, who's our James Robertson Justice? Well, have we got? Well, maybe could it be? What's his name? The guy I've never been on with him. His name begins with D. He's got a beard. Yeah, could that be him?
Maybe. It's more like WG Rumblepants, actually.
Cast. Tattooed of the right arm. Maybe that gives him an extra bit of nip as he comes in. He comes in this time to Jamal, who pulls it very successfully through mid-wicket. But Diddy Duckett is out there.
Wow, that was aerial, wasn't it? It went through mid-wicket. The guy was square, but it was certainly aerial through that region. Ooh.
Yeah, no ball here.
Yeah, it's one of these.
Over the line! Huh? I'm sorry, Smokey. You were over the line. That's a foul.
Very marginal.
Yeah, he's on the line, but as we all know, the line belongs to the umpire. So if you've got nothing behind it, then you're in a bit of trouble. Cast doesn't like that. The shoulders have slumped forward. Maybe the heat is beginning to tell. What is the temp today, Messi? You know this better than any of us.
It's currently about 32 degrees in Multan and 40% humidity.
Wow. Cast in once more, short again. Shaheen fends it away from his throat this time. As we're being treated to the sight of Ben Stokes walking around. He's actually walking around the field. He's going to bring some drinks out, but he looks very much like he's on holiday with his kids.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
He's just
He's a very cool-looking man.
Yeah, just
he's not wearing the flip-flops, though.
No, he's not, but he's just gone to get... He's actually gone just to try and get 10 minutes to himself. But yeah, I'll get the drinks this time, he says, and he's taking a long time to get back.
He's actually come out quite a lot, I think, you know.
He has. I think it's really... I've got to be honest with you. It's hideous corporate speak, but he is doing very good modelling, where the leader should act like he wants his juniors to act. It's impressive what he's doing. This Cast, who's been equally impressive, comes in. It's more down the leg side this time, and it's whipped away just for a single.
Oh.
Now there was a shy at the stumps there, but I don't think to any avail. We're seeing Bashir clapping himself, maybe.
Well, Shaheen just sort of ambled down a track like it was an easy single, and he was halfway down and realised he had to. Oh, he went to the wrong end.
Yeah, one, he was well in, and two, he missed. Not by a country mile.
Oh, he'd have been out actually if he'd have hit.
He would have been, but the throw was actually steady. It was Pope, wasn't it? He steadied himself extremely well, but when the throw came in, he was spraying it around like a virgin in a brothel. I mean, it did not go where it should have gone there.
Yeah, if he'd have thrown it at the bowler's end, he'd have had plenty of time to line it up.
Yeah. Pass into Jamal. Jamal steps back and cuts this quite nicely, and I think this is going to roll to the boundary. No, it is stopped on the boundary rope and lunked in by Creepy Crawley. Pakistan move on to 214 for 7. Jamal is on 55. Shaheen is on 10 from 12 balls, which can tell you how he's been throwing the bat at everything here. So do we think the rumours suggest that Stokes is going to be back for the second match? So are we buying that?
I'm hoping so. It certainly offers.
It's very much in my I believe it when I see it basket.
Yeah.
Well, if he was, it would give him the opportunity to add more batting in Jordan Cox. They need one less bowler, especially if he can bowl.
Well, Jamal takes one this time on the upper arm from Cars.
I think Cars is done.
Yeah, I was going to say Jamal got injured, but Cars is the one who's down on his haunches. He looks absolutely. It's like me after a 2-hour Strictly session. He looks absolutely exhausted.
Well, he bowled 3 overs from one end, didn't he? And he's had an over off and then come back on at the other end. Clearly using him as the enforcer, but I would take him off now.
Now, we're due a change. So,
we are.
That change now, I think.
Well, Billy's not turned up yet, so you might have to. All three of us might have to stay on. It's been a catastrophe this morning. Tone has not got out of bed and has probably not really giving a shit.
So James, you have hit the mark with some of our demographic. Michael Bedford just says Sir Lancelot Spratt, who was, of course, James Robertson's Justice's character in the Doctor movies. Yes. M says, I think the MG Midget came into production in the early 60s. I looked that up. Yes, that's correct. 1961 was the first time it was produced.
Well, maybe Jamie Smith's got a prototype. I mean, it could be. Let's not rule it out.
And George McPherson, who forever finds a cloud when there is sunshine, says England's struggling as usual. There is a slight chance that Pakistan will make them bad again. The way things are going, England could do with wrapping up the game.
Well, Billy has arrived.
Here we go.
So Billy's going to see you in a bit, Messi. Well, I don't know what's going on for the extra half hour because I've got a rota that ends.
It's just the first one after lunch. Moves straight up.
Okay.
So it's Tony, me, and Jason for that one.
Morning, guys.
Okay, I'll catch you now.
Morning, Billy. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you. Looking forward to hopefully seeing England wrap it up in the near future.
Yeah. Oh, that one actually beat the arm, didn't it? Took it in the chest. Yeah. Not sure he's wearing a chest guard either.
He's in a bit of trouble here.
Tone has made it in. Morning, Tone. He doesn't look happy about it, but what the hell. You got lectures today, Billy, or is it Friday off? Fun Friday.
I've got one in the afternoon. But yeah, pretty relaxed.
That's a pretty relaxed Friday.
Hard day. Yeah. Student's nightmare, a lecture on a Friday. Jesus. What are you studying, Billy?
Business and journalism.
Oh, wow.
Combined honours kind of thing. Yeah, it's good fun. Yeah.
3 years, 4 years? 3 years, I presume.
3.
Yeah,
3.
Nice.
3. Yeah, going well. Enjoying it.
What year are you in now? Second, third?
Second.
And you're up in Newcastle, yeah? Cold and windy?
Yeah. Yeah, it's alright.
Local lads still out in their t-shirts though, no doubt. And the ladies in very short skirts, even though it's probably about -5.
Billy, can I say, Billy, I love your positivity that you're up in Newcastle and when Bear said cold and windy, you looked out of the window, that you felt you had to check, and that wasn't just taken for granted, because I would imagine it's cold and windy up there quite a lot.
Yeah.
That's the coast is really pretty up there. I've got a friend who's...
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice. The Tynemouth Bay is where we quite often go for a swim and things like that. It's really pretty. So no, it's good fun.
Alright, well, back to the cricket. They're going to get back to it. Shaheen is facing up 10 off 12. Leach is going to bowl over the wicket to him. We've dropped 2 chances which would have ended the game, but hey, I think Jamal has been dropped twice, hasn't he? That's driven by Shaheen up to Duckett at mid-off, and there is no run.
Pope's drop was almost. I personally thought Duckett should have been running in and taking that, but Pope obviously called for it.
Yeah, I think it would have been harder for Duckett to get in that far. That's tossed up very wide. That's a fantastic catch by Leachy. It's driven at by Shaheen. He didn't time it correctly, and driving full stretch to his left like a goalkeeper, he's plucked it out of the sky, and Shaheen has to go for 10 off 14. Leach has his 3rd wicket and totally out bowling Bashir. I mean, they haven't really gone to Bashir, have they? That's the sad thing about this. But hey, England have another wicket, and we say goodbye to Shaheen.
I won't look back, 'cause by the time that I do, you'll be gone.
And now Tone will be wishing that he really hadn't turned up, because he did say to me, I'll turn up if there's not 2 wickets by lunch, but he's turned up a little bit early, probably guessing that there was. Yeah. Well, they hadn't. They've just taken 2 now, haven't they? That's the second one they've taken. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome catch by Leach. He was already wide on the crease, threw it outside off stump. It just landed in one of the footholes, quite wide, and turned prodigiously, really, and it's off the inside half of Sheen's bat, snapped back to him, and he went all the way. He went all the way across the stumps and dove right over to the other side. Brilliant catch.
It was a very good catch. Very good catch.
Like you say, Bear, with I don't know if you watched the England match last night, but with the skittish performance of Jordan Pickford, Jack Leach might be getting a call up to the round ball.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch it. I forgot it was on, to be honest.
But you did yourself a favour, let me tell you.
Yeah, it sounds like we were pretty poor.
Oh God, it's sort of what happened. It was essentially a team picked by an 8-year-old, where they'd just gone, let's just put everyone exciting in the same team. Oh no, that doesn't work.
Oh, was it one of those?
I was half keeping an eye on it at the pub. It looked really poor performance.
Oh, it was terrible.
But you know, who cares about the international break anyway?
Well, this is the very sad truth, isn't it? Even a Nations League doesn't really. If you get through to the semis or the final, I get a little bit interested. But other than that, I really don't give a shit.
But also, we've got 3 of them from September to. No, we've got another one in under a month. Or something.
Yeah, there's always a lot of international breaks early in the season, isn't there?
Yeah, it's mad. Absolutely mad. England, Ireland, I think, at Wembley, early November.
I mean, who really cares about that shit?
I care about that. That one I care about.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a new batsman at crease. Let's get back to the cricket. Leach is bowling at the new batsman, who we presume is the last batsman, as Abrar is unable to bat. That's defended by Nazim. Bat down the track. And there is no run, and this man has a jingle that goes like this.
When the sea shall
And Leach coming around the wicket. Down the track comes Nazim. He's good at that, and I think he's got it all the way. Yep, that's smashed over the head of Leach, saying, you're not going to get me out. It's 6 runs. Well, he's not going to die trying, or wanting, or whatever it is.
Really good clean striking. Straight over his head, as you say. I mean, he's not going to hang around. There's no point.
No.
There's no point really. He gets down the pitch nicely. Hammers it for 6, comfortably clearing the boundary.
Built by Stokes.
Yeah, he's everywhere. Well, he's been stumped. He's come down the track as Nassim. He went very early. Leach probably thought that was coming, and it's fantastic bowling by Leach. He's got 4 for 30. He's dragged it down into the pitch. It's turned a little bit, but basically Nassim was in no position. He got done completely. Miles out of his crease. Jamie Smith takes the ball, takes the bails off. England win the match. Abrar can't come out to bat. Pakistan are the first team in history to lose by an innings after scoring over 500 runs in their first innings. Tony's coming in waving his arms. He's been here for about 5 minutes and the game's over.
I have to say also that's the third time that England have conceded over 500 runs in an innings and have won. They've won all 3 matches when doing that in the Brendan McCullum Stokes era.
Yeah, that's true. They have.
Rawalpindi in Pakistan and Trent Bridge last year. And now this. That's an extraordinary achievement.
It is an extraordinary achievement, and this team just goes from strength to strength. Brooke, I presume, will be man of the match with a triple 100, and England have broken all sorts of records. It's a fantastic game, and you have to hand it to them that they managed to get a result on this pitch. And that is just because, I mean, we were working out earlier, they scored 1.7 more runs per over than Pakistan.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? They what was it? They batted maybe one more over and got over 250.
267 runs ahead, exactly.
I mean, that is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think their entire run rate over the innings was, I think we've got 1, 2 and 3 on scores over 500 with the highest averages. I think they averaged 5.67 or something across that innings. I mean, it is astonishing to be able to go that long. I mean, it does help when you've got two batsmen who score 400 odd runs between them, because no one has to get in again, you know. And there was only one maiden in that innings. The entire innings, there was only one maiden.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely think that's one of England's best victories in recent memory.
Yeah, I agree.
Simply unbelievable. But the thing I'll be interested to see also is how the pitch gets rated, because last year in Rawalpindi, when England won, which was arguably even flatter than this, it was rated good, purely because
there was a result.
There was a result. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a very, very poor pitch. I've been saying this for days now. It doesn't matter that England won. I think it's just a really poor pitch.
Would you guys say that England possibly are the only team in the world who could have won on this pitch, simply because of that scoring rate?
Well, that didn't. I mean, I think they lost to Bangladesh on here, didn't they? I mean, there's been a lot of test played in Multan recently.
But I mean, on a pitch of this flatness, that England at that rate, because they can put those extra 250 runs into the game in the same time.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, that's how they won it last time. I mean, you think each of the tests last time we were out there went deep into the fifth day, managed to, you know, I mean, there was one, it was virtually dark, wasn't it? We won it with about 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
You know,
that was in Rawalpindi.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's quite dull. I mean, it's been exciting the last 2 days, but the first 3 days were pretty torturous.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I just want. It's interesting though, because I think any anti-baseballers who may remain out there, this is why baseball works. This is why baseball is important, because in matches like this, on pitches like this, you have to do something different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I have to say, James, I completely agree with you. I think England probably are the only side that could. I mean, arguments for Australia and India, of course, but to concede comfortably over 500 in the first innings, and to win a Test match, arguably that comfortably by an innings.
Well, not only by an innings, but I mean, considering we conceded 550 in 5.5 sessions. And the game was ended before lunch on day 5 as well. I mean, put that into perspective. And we scored 800 in between. It's mad. Yeah. It's mad.
Absolutely. And of course, you know, there was some people saying that they should start the next Test match, which of course is also in Multan, because of the problems with the Karachi
on the same pitch
stadium.
I'm one of them. I think they fucking should. I agree. And I think they should. If the rumours are true and they're going to play the third Test here, and we were just discussing this earlier with James, they should just carry on using this pitch. So you start the series with an absolute batting paradise and end it with an absolute spinner's paradise. Maybe, who knows?
I hadn't heard they were going to start this.
Well, the rumours are. I mean, it hasn't been totally confirmed yet, but there are rumours that they're going to move Rawalpindi to Multan because
for the same reason that it's getting ready for the Champions Trophy.
Presumably, rumours are it's not ready to receive the game, so that may be the case. And if that is the case, I mean, Jesus Christ, I mean, this is it. You know, Root could score 1,000 runs in this series. So could Brooke.
They could do that in one match, the way they're going.
A word for Jack Leach as well, coming back into the side and cleaning up Pakistan there, taking, you know, just 6.5 overs, 1 maiden, and just very helpfully disappeared from the there it is, 4 for 30.
Yeah.
Is a really good effort. Bashir was, you know, so Leach takes 7 wickets in the match. Bashir didn't really feature at all.
Yeah, no, we've
he's done very well.
James has asked me about this earlier. I just think I think Leach is unlucky. But I've probably mentioned to you this before, Billy, but I just think they think that Leach gets injured too easily and is ill too often. And I think they would like to have him on, but I think they think he's too much of a risk. And I think he'll always get picked. He's first on the list when they go to someone that needs a second spinner.
But do you think, actually, I know we shouldn't have any gripes in a match like this, but I think one question mark I'd have is how they're handling Bashir at the moment, because he was bowling a very lakeside line to a very lakeside field, and I think he's got to be encouraged to be a bit more attacking. I don't think it's fair on him, actually. I don't know if that's because it's Pope or not Stokes. I don't know if that's they're trying to manage him because they feel he's vulnerable, but I think he's got it. We've seen it. He did, Trent Bridge over the summer. We've seen he can bowl that attacking line and can take a heap of wickets. So I thought that was one disappointment I had from this match.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think he drags it down too much as well. His length is a lot of the time is too short and too flat. And when he does, the funny thing is exactly that. And funny enough, NASA was saying the same thing on the TV yesterday afternoon. But when he does slow down a little bit and gets a bit of loop, he looks a hell of a lot more dangerous.
He really does. If I think about it, because I'm biased because I was at that match at Trent Bridge, but when I saw how he bowled in that match, he bowled with such maturity and such control. And it's obviously a confidence thing. I think when he puts that field out for him, it just knocks his confidence a little bit.
Yeah, I think.
And we don't put the field out. I don't think our field settings are necessarily too defensive with him.
No, it's the line that is encouraging.
Don't mind about going for him, but
but they're encouraging him to bowl straight, and he's an off spinner bowling to right-handers, and so it's very easy to just then slide it into the pads, which is then easy runs, and especially if he bowls it too short. They can get back and then just knock it into leg side, whereas
you could tell England's spin bowling coach can do some work with him during the break between tests.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, they see him as a long-term prospect, don't they?
And he's shown great. Over the summer, well, certainly in the West Indies series, he showed great quality and great promise, and it was very exciting. And he's going to go through a dip, isn't he? Because he's a young, inexperienced player. But
and let's face
it, feels like.
Well, he's not playing any county cricket, and if England play 17 tests a year, he's going to play 17 very high-class games. And if they keep him in there and he's sharp and he learns, give him 2 or 3 years, he could be a very, very effective spinner. And if that's the case, then we'll have him for years to come.
It is definitely difficult for him, because Leach takes his place at Somerset. So
totally. Well, you can see why. Leach, to me, Leach is a better bowler. So that's why Leach takes his place. But England
towards the back end of the season on the tired turning pitches, they were both bowling a bit. I think down to Taunton. But I'd agree. It's difficult to get into a rhythm, and of course, I mean, he's never bowled in Pakistan, but I completely agree that his line is definitely a bit negative.
Totally.
But I mean, Pakistan's work was as well. I mean, all the Abrar Ahmed ran the wicket.
Yes.
Terrible.
Well, they started getting called for wides, didn't they? After 5 sessions,
Well, I hope I'm not being a dick here, and I hope Abrar Ahmed is well and will be out of hospital today. But it did feel like a sick note when you've got games at school, because he bowled so badly. And got so badly polished. Oh no, I can't make it in today. There's something wrong. I've got a fever. But he was disappointing. I think whether he was wearing glasses or not wearing glasses, he still.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, his control of line. I mean, when he came in against England when we went out there last time, no one had seen him, and he had the surprise element. Got 11. Got 11 wickets in his first test. Slowly became less effective as the series went on. He doesn't look like a bowler who's bowling with a lot of confidence. But they bowled him. Well, I suppose they had to bowl him, because you can't flog the seamers for 6 sessions getting flogged around the park, can you? So he had to bowl, but they did go to Saib, and they went to Saeem, and they went to the other opener as well, didn't they?
They did. But I mean, positives for Pakistan, I think, are in bowling terms. I thought, as we said, Jamal, I think, showed a lot of heart, kept going. I thought Naseem actually bowled really well.
I thought Naseem was the pick of the bowlers.
I thought Shaheen Shafiri was massively disappointing. I thought he didn't look that interested even.
The thing is, though, is I don't care how flat the pitch is. You can't. I know, of course, Brook and Root were unbelievable, But I don't care how flat the pitch is, you can't concede over 800 in a test.
No, you can't. You can't. I mean, they had their chances. Let's be honest. I mean, they dropped Root yesterday.
Yeah.
There was that LBW. I mean, he was 167 at the time, but that could have gone the other way. I mean, England then might have only got 650, which is then a different game. They're only 100 behind. And
also, I think a word for Ollie Pope and his captaincy, because I think he's captained the side really, really well. Really well in this test match. It's not easy coming to Pakistan. Of course, he's done a little bit of it throughout the summer to try and fill Ben Stokes' shoes, and caught a lot of flack, especially for his batting. Unfortunately, got out for a duck.
Yeah, it was an absolute screamer of a catch, though.
Yeah, unbelievable catch. But I think he did really well, and I don't know. It doesn't sound positive that Stokes will be playing the next test. I don't think so. You probably have to do it again.
Well, maybe. I think he'll be glad to hand it back, though. I'm not sure captaincy suits Pope. He's certainly not Stokesian. I mean, they've got plans, and I guess it's kind of easy. Stokes is out there all the time. I mean, he's been bringing the drinks out and probably been, almost telling them what to do. But it's as much as Stokes' personality that drags the side through a lot of the time. And Pope isn't that type of personality. I don't think there is anyone in the team that is. Maybe Duckett would be the closest thing to Stokes, actually, probably sort of pugnacious little scrapper.
I think the thing about Stokes, isn't it, is that he has that insane superpower of cricketing intelligence. He has that, and anyone can have that. But he also has that superpower of emotional intelligence. He's so good at getting players to play for him, inspiring people, understanding him, and that's something that I think comes from experience, and also just comes from the type of character you are.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I don't see anyone, but then again, I was about to say I don't see anyone in the England team who's got that. I would never have thought Ben Stokes would have had that until he became captain.
Yeah, well, I always thought he didn't want to be captain, but
yeah.
Yeah, but there weren't any other options really.
No, there weren't. But I mean, he was the best option at the time, as you say. But there was a lot of talk in the media that he really didn't want the captaincy.
Yeah.
And they sort of grabbed it with both hands. Maybe they managed to convince him with Baz McCullum coming in. But he has been the most effective English captain ever, hasn't he? I mean, his win-loss ratio is fantastic.
But he understands people, doesn't he? He reminds me a little bit. I mean, he's a very different captain, obviously, but he reminds me in terms of understanding people of Michael Vaughan. I always remember that thing Michael Vaughan did, where he realised that Freddie always wanted to be involved. He didn't respect Freddie's opinion, but he realised he wanted to be. So he would make him part of the leadership team in the group, and he would always ask him questions on what he thought he should be doing. Not because he wanted to know, but he needed Flintoff to feel important.
Yes.
And it's that kind of understanding of how everyone's an individual and how they all tick that Stokes has got, and it's a gift for England.
Yeah. By the way, I'm just looking at some YouTube comments, and someone has actually said the right thing. Smash the like button and press subscribe. We forgot to say that for a few days. Just get it in there.
Smash. Do you want me to read out some YouTube comments?
Yeah, might as well. I think we should get off. It is early in the morning. People have got things to do. It's only 10 to 8.
People are sort of saying hi and bye, really, but disinterested hand job pointing out that the curse of Tony strikes again. Leah saying, what a match this was. Anna saying, thanks, gang. Even Tony, especially Tony. Jay saying bye to Mog. Leah asking me that I call it flatitude. That's pretty good. Messi reminding us we're back at 6 a.m. Tuesday.
Yep, we are.
So remind the cat. Hattie saying quite rightly she loves that it was a 5-day match, not a 3-day match. Yeah, really nice to have that. Jay complaining he hasn't had the chance to get drunk yet. The day is but young, Jay.
It is. Yeah, you can start for breakfast if you really want to.
Yeah, exactly. You can tell. And also, Jay pointing out this is important that Stokes actually went to state school, and that is meant. That's true. That is it.
I didn't know that.
This is an important thing in a team of toffs. The leader, the smartest person is a state school kid. So we like that.
I like that too. But hey, right, we're going to wrap up. We're going to go. Not a lot to do. It's 8 in the morning, but going to go and chill out and have some toast.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Good to see you, Billy. Good to see you, James.
Thank you.
Are you back in for the second test, both of you?
Yeah.
No idea. Don't think so. Possibly not.
Very committal. Love it. Right. Have a good one, boys, and we shall see you in a few days.
Catch you later, everyone.
See you later.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla.
Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever